welcome to Channel 8 Update. I'm Monica Manning.
And I'm Erica Cost.
Let's get into today's news. Public astronomy nights have returned to the Fredonia campus on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month from now until October. Assistant Professor of Physics Michael Dunham will lead the interactive digital planetarium show in Jewett Hall. Each night, cooperating weather will allow attendees to migrate to the Science Center rooftop to view celestial objects through a telescope. Students, faculty, staff, and surrounding community members are encouraged to use the Google sign-up page and reserve a seat for the show.
President Virginia Horvath will retire this year after 14 years of service to Fredonia, 7 of those as president. Her retirement comes after 3 professors brought a vote of no confidence before the Senate, citing her mismanagement of the budget and procedures for the emergency program reduction or elimination, also known as the Pepper process. A motion was made to start the 13-step process of bringing in a visitation team. President Horvath announced her retirement a month later. There is no word on who will serve as the interim president. But now, Haley Poth is back with us for your Channel 8 weather update. Haley, we've had a pretty good week so far.
Yeah, pretty good week so far, but I hope everyone has enjoyed the sun recently because it looks like it'll be a while until we see it again. We will have cloudy skies tonight, tomorrow, and possibly see a thunderstorm Friday afternoon. We will have a high Thursday and Friday respectively of 51 and 68, but don't let the temperature fool you because Friday throughout the day there will be up to a 90% chance of rain. We will also be getting some winds, high winds, which hopefully won't bother us too much since we have become somewhat used to that. And Saturday will be a chance to enjoy the sun before what looks like a mostly cloud coverage and rain next week. This means we are getting all of our rain out of the way, so hopefully we can enjoy a sunnier spring later on.
Thank you, Haley. There's been a lot of talk about the new location of the Mustard Seed restaurant opening up this month, but what most people don't know is the story behind it. I talked to the people behind the business about what residents can expect. The Mustard Seed is all about personal touch, community, and serving others through food. Original owner, Nettie Puliff, ran the business in her very own home while also working as a pastor. When close friends of Puliff, Bob and Lori Scudder, saw that she was selling her home one day, they called her up to ask about what would happen to the business.
I wanted to sell my house and move the business. And so when my house went on the market, they called me not about the house, but about the business. So I kind of prayed about that.
After 14 years of balancing being a pastor and running her own restaurant, Puliff agreed to accept help from the couple. She handed over the business to them for a new location in Fredonia. Although the Scudders will be taking over, Puliff will still be involved in other ways.
I'm going to be here. There were 2 of us owners at the Mustard Seed in South Dayton. We will both be here on site. We'll be training, we'll be visiting, we'll be doing everything that we did before. Only I'm happy to say that now if I have an issue at church, we have a group of us that can be here.
As for Bob Scudder, running a business is nothing new. He recently owned a hardware store in the village, as well as a few other businesses.
I enjoy the service part of it. I had the hardware store right here for 33 years. I've got a laundromat. We have a 2-acre blueberry farm. We do student rentals. I'm on the county legislature. I just enjoy serving people.
Here at the Mustard Seed, the style is very homey and relaxed, as if you were eating dinner in your own living room.
Well, all the chairs, all the furniture has pretty much come from the Mustard Seed and nothing ever matched. It makes people feel like it's okay to just be. And believe it or not, there's a balance to the imbalance. You still like to create a feeling.
Perhaps what sets the Mustard Seed apart from other restaurants is their emphasis on making you feel a part of their family.
I think the homey vibe comes in how you care about people. I don't know, we try to love people with food. That's kind of where the homey part is.
Food can be a special way to bring people together and strengthen a community. The Scudders and Puliff hope to do just that with this new journey of the Mustard Seed. With Channel 8 Update, I'm Erica Cost. The restaurant has a tentative opening date of April 25th, and if you're a dog lover, you'll want to be around this weekend. After the break, we'll talk to someone about the annual Lend a Paw for Autism.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back. This coming Sunday, April 14th, Help Fredonia Records is hosting the annual Linda Paul for Autism. The theme this year is K9 Avengers. Jake Sapovitz, Skylar Cole, and Skylar's dog Molly join us now. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
How are we doing today?
Pretty good. How about you?
Awesome. So can you tell our viewers what we can expect this Sunday?
So there's going to be a lot of food and games. It's our annual dog walk for Linda Paul for Autism. All the proceeds go to the Institute for Autism at Canisius College, which is a great program. Our teacher has had his son go through it, and it has helped him so much. So every dollar counts and goes towards a great cause.
And why did we choose the Avengers theme?
Well, last year was Star Wars, so we needed to up our game a bit. And everybody, I feel like, loves Marvel. Endgame's coming out very soon, so it was perfect timing almost.
Absolutely. And is there any other information that you want to share with our viewers?
Yes, we will be tabling tomorrow and the next day in Willie's from 10 to 4, I believe. And for registration, it's $15. And if you can't donate, if you can't register, then you can still donate to the cause. Every dollar counts. If 1 million people donate $1, then that's $1 million going to a great cause. So, yeah.
Anything else? You good?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just hanging with her.
Alrighty. Well, that is. Make sure you come out this Sunday to support Linda Paul, and we will be right back. And this past Friday at 6:45 a.m., shots were fired at the Naval Air Station, Oceana, in Virginia. Christopher J. Ruffier, a 26-year-old airman apprentice, shot and injured a fellow sailor. Ruffier was shot and killed moments later. The victim, whose name was not been released, is currently recovering from non-life-threatening injuries. The Navy is currently investigating how Ruffier was able to bring a weapon on base with their strict no-weapon policy.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the creative galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
In a span of 8 days, 3 people have fallen off the side of the Grand Canyon. The first death of the 3 was not an accident, as the body was found in a forested area of the South Rim Village. An investigation is being conducted following the incident. The second death was a tourist from Hong Kong in a tour group taking a selfie when he slipped. The tourist destination is sending out their thoughts and prayers to the loved ones of the individuals of the tour group.
And 23-year-old Ohio resident Brian Michael Rennie is facing federal charges for lying to investigators after claiming to be Timothy Pitson, a young boy who went missing in 2011. According to the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Ohio, Ben Glassman, Rennie claimed he was kidnapped and then physically and sexually abused until he escaped. He had learned about the Pitson case from an episode of ABC's 2020. Police reports show that Rennie has been convicted of crimes prior to these charges, and his reasons for claiming to be Pitson's are still unknown. And ahead in international news, Theresa May asked for a delay, and a Southeast Asian country enforces a new death penalty. We'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the creative galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside The Box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
The 27 leaders of the European Union meet tonight in Brussels to discuss the ongoing issue of Brexit. Prime Minister Theresa May asked the European Union to delay Article 50 until June 30th to avoid a chaotic no-deal Brexit that could take place this Friday. May is hoping this delay will give Parliament more time to create and pass a deal that will let the UK smoothly leave the EU. At the meeting, the Prime Minister had this to say.
I've been clear that the UK's request is for an extension to the 30th of June. I have been working to make sure that we can leave the European Union. Indeed, we could have left the European Union by now, but Parliament didn't pass the withdrawal agreement. So we need that extra time to work to ensure that we can get a deal through Parliament that enables us to leave in a smooth and orderly way. That's in everybody's interest. I think what matters is that we are able to leave the European Union at the point at which we ratify that withdrawal agreement. That would enable us to leave by the 22nd of May.
And today marks 1 week since the Southeast Asian Kingdom of Brunei legalized death by stoning as a punishment for homosexual acts and adultery. The international human rights community reacted in outrage at this development. The legalization of stoning is only a recent development in the country's Sharia law system, which also calls for amputation as a punishment for theft. Despite international outcry, Brunei representatives state they have no intention of halting the new law. Crescenzo Fano joins us now for a look at the latest in sports. Crescenzo? I can't speak English.
It's all right, Monica, and hopefully Fredonia can be a little better. The Blue Devils baseball team lost their first conference games of the season this weekend as they dropped all 3 of the games against the Cortland Red Dragons. They lost both Saturday games by the score of 9-0 and 7-2. They then lost on Sunday 17-4. The Blue Devils are now 9-13 overall, but 6-3 in the SUNYAC. The softball team won 1 out of their 4 weekend games, defeating Brockport in the second game by the score of 8-5 on Saturday's doubleheader. They dropped the first game 8-1 and then lost both Sunday games against Geneseo by the final score 7-4 and 4-0. The Blue Devils are now 7-13 overall and 2-4 in the SUNYAC. They will travel north for multiple double headers this weekend. They take on Potsdam on Friday as they verse Plattsburgh on Saturday. And finally, March Madness is officially over as the University of Virginia won the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. They competed against Texas Tech Monday night as the game went into overtime. Kyle Guy and DeAndre Hunter led the way for the Cavaliers as both of them had more than 23 points in the game. It was a complete redemption story as last year they lost to the 16 seed and now they are champions. Congratulations to the Cavaliers. Back to you.
Thank you, Crescenzo. We'll be back in a few minutes for one last look at your Channel 8 update weather.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
I realized that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the creative galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back. And before we head out, we're going to toss it back over to Haley, who's going to give us one last look at our weather. Haley, how we looking?
Well, it's not looking too bad this weekend. Here's one last look at the weather before we sign off. A majority of our next couple days are going to be rainy and cloudy, but there are going to be a few outlying days that will be sunny. Tomorrow, we're going to see a high of 49 and see wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Friday, we will have a high of 68 with winds as high as 47 miles per hour. Saturday will calm down with a high of 57 and it should be fairly sunny. The following week will be mostly cloudy and my advice is to enjoy the sun as we get it.
Thank you for joining us. That's going to be it for our show today. And we'd like to thank our cast and our crew for helping us out today. And we'll see you next week on Channel 8 Update.